You were the Charlie Kirk for black people.
There's no such thing as a Charlie Kirk for black people. No. Let me tell you why. Because I'm a black man that stopped looking at white people's problems and started looking at my people's problems. Charlie Kirk didn't look at his people's problem. He stayed looking at black people's problem as if we're the problem. We're not the problem. My problem with people saying Kirk is like me, he ain't stood up to the white supremacists. He ain't stood up to the skinheads. I've been standing up to the negative elements and the detriment of black people. He ain't looked to white people and said, hey, we got a bunch of white kids shooting up schools. Say we got a bunch of white kids and they babies. We lead the nation in child pedophilia and molestation of children. Hey, man, we need that Epstein list out. They say the president's name is on that list. He ain't doing that to his people. He was a talking point who spread a lot of misinformation, almost the borderline of lying.
You know what, Robert? Fuck you and everybody who live in your house.
I said I'm never coming back again. Next I stepped away from the mirror. I got my mind made up now, cause I can see the future much clearer.
What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscribe or die trying. You see the thumbnail. More importantly, you saw the clip. Charleston White is right. When it comes to a lot of this scapegoating, we aren't really the problem. Like, when it comes to people talking about black crime and black criminality, it's usually in black areas where crime, drugs and gangs are prevalent. Outside of that, it's not really moving like that. But what other communities like to do is they like to put what's going on in our community, and point at us like we're the problem, while their community is just getting away with all kinds of shenanigans. It's all smoke and mirrors. So when you have people who say, okay, black people are criminals, and it's like, okay, but most of these people who say they live in the suburbs, and how much black crime is going on in the suburbs with the black people that are around them? How much criminality are black people doing in the suburbs? You don't get much. You get what I'm saying? But it's a whole lot of other criminality in the suburbs. It's a whole lot of people breaking in houses, breaking in cars, stealing people's cars. There's a whole lot of drug trafficking, going on in the suburbs. But it's just, drug manufacturing. That goes on a lot, and that's predominantly not black people. So people like to play this game like, oh, it's black folks, it's black folks, it's black folks. And it's like, no, there's drugs in the community, it's black folks. But black people may be known for dealing drugs, but not more than whites, Hispanics, and Asians. If you're going to be honest, all the drug dealers that go on at all these predominantly white cities and in these universities, nobody says a word. There's a video of Coach Deion Sanders talking about how he hasn't never got used to the fact that when the third quarter rolls around at the Colorado Buffaloes game, the whole stadium smells like weed. That's an actual tradition that's been going on at that school. See, but it happens every week. Nobody bats an eye, right? And then people go, well, it's anomalies when other people commit crime. No, it's not. No, it's just it's covered up more. That's the issue. It's covered up a whole lot more. When you have, and I talked about this before, where people like to use rap music and movies as a calling card to the criminality of black folks. And it's like, yeah, but look at all of the movies in America and the television shows in America where you have predominantly white and Hispanic and sometimes Asian criminals. They're just living a life of crime and with no regard and no actual consequences. They just been living like this for years. And people go, well, they're smart, they got away. No, they're not. They're not that smart. They're just not looked at as criminals. Their whole society isn't looked at as criminals, knowing that it exists, knowing that people know, oh man, if I go to a massage parlor, I probably could get a happy ending. Yeah, that's prostitution, but doesn't count, right? If I go hang out and party with some white folks, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be some drugs there. Not a big deal. You get what I'm saying? Um, I was talking to somebody about what do you call that? What do you call it? I'm trying to think of the name. Somebody's like, black people fight. You say black people get in fights when you go out, and it's like, the difference between so when black people get into fights in public places, if it's predominantly black, people might be able to go home. If it's a mixed crowd, the black person getting arrested. But when I see whites and Hispanics fighting out in public, nothing happens. It's a fight. Oh, bring it up, go home, and the police are there just sending people home. And nobody's getting arrested. Nobody's getting arrested. So when people go, oh, well, that's not violent. When I see people racing cars and hear people racing cars, predominantly not black folks, and how many car accidents have that caused? How many car deaths have that caused? But y'all don't look at it as that. You get what I'm saying? Y'all don't look at it as these people out here. Same thing with drinking and driving. It's the same thing, right? But then, they turn around and say, we're the problem. January 6th, people weren't looked at as criminals. I don't know how not, but hey, that's a part of America. Prior to that, remember when they had the guys who had the standoff in I want to say Nevada with the FBI, and they put the women and the children in the front. So if there was a shootout, that they would get shot first, and then they went home like nothing ever happened after a while. And then they the same group of people, if I'm not mistaken, took over a federal building in a different state, and then they got into a shootout, I believe, and then they went to jail, and then went to trial, and then went home. You get what I'm saying? So it's not looked at as criminality, and you don't hear white people saying that about white people. You don't hear Hispanics saying that about Hispanics. You don't hear the Asians saying that about Asians. Because when I say Asians will talk about, hey man, the black people with affirmative action. And it's like, and then all of a sudden put themselves right in a position to get slapped in the face by their own pointing the finger at black people when we weren't the problem. You know what I'm saying? But you're not saying that, oh yeah, these rules are unfair to begin with and is racially motivated. But no, it's black people. If a black person went to school, they got to be an idiot. So then it slaps you in the face. You get what I'm saying? And we don't talk about other things. Hispanic community, sometimes, oh, black people are lying, race is not a thing. And then as you see now, when white America wants to turn on you, y'all are drug dealers, y'all are criminals, y'all are cartel members, y'all out here sex trafficking women and children, y'all out here messing with young folks. Oh, all of the dirt comes out. But how can I say this? We don't really, we're not the ones pointing the finger at y'all like that. But y'all are, it's the black folk over there. It's like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. Interesting. White America does the same thing. It's the blacks and the blacks, and it's the blacks that, and it's like, man, interesting. We're not the ones shooting up the schools, the movie theaters, the churches, the grocery stores. And they go, well, those are isolated incidents. Not really. Because the issue becomes, if you really don't get in trouble for anything, you do it over and over and over and over and over again. And because people don't look at it as a crime when a certain demographic is doing it, they get passes to constantly get away with stuff. You get what I'm saying? All the time. Whether it's pulling guns on people, whether it's sucker punching people and jumping people and trying to make a citizen's arrest out of the blue, whether it's swatting people, whether, it's always something. Whether it's lying on people to get them jammed up, You know, it happens over and over and over and over and over again. But you won't say anything about your own group of people, and then you wind up with the issue. Case in point, all these scams that go on when people calling you and they have your information, and these people are sending you these faulty emails to trick you into giving them your information so they can rob you. That ain't black people. But you see how rampant it is and how normalized it is in America? It's predominantly white folks and Asians. Nobody says anything. Nobody says anything. You know, when they talked about the whole ICE thing, all of the quote unquote illegals working jobs under the table for decades. That's illegal, but nobody says anything. You get what I'm saying? Not to mention the criminality part, not to mention the human trafficking part and the drug manufacturing part and the, you know, all of that's not, it's just not looked at as a big deal at all. But to cover up all of the shenanigans, people go, oh, look at the black people over there. And then people go, yeah, they're this and they're that. And it's like, y'all out here doing the most. Theft rings, drug rings, you know, human trafficking rings. Y'all out here doing the most. And you ain't in the hood. Y'all in the country and in the suburbs predominantly doing this stuff. But it's not looked at as an issue in the communities. And that's the problem. Since it's not looked at as an issue, it happens. See, when people say black people in crime, that also associates with black, it also associates the thing that black people get caught doing crime. All you other groups, since y'all live under this stereotype of being so, you know, so innocent, y'all perpetually keep doing crimes and they escalate because if you get caught, you get a slap on the wrist and you got away so many times it don't count to you. And this is why, you know, when they say other people aren't addressed, it's the truth. But I'm going to leave it at that. You tell me what you think. Like, share, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Peace.